Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Right.
To the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Warren?
Here.
Mr. Tatsias?
Here.
Mr. Gigi?
Here.
Mr. O'Hare?
Here.
Mr. Espinola?
Here.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Here.
Mr. Booton?
Here. Okay, is there anybody for public speaking, Mr. Gigi? Anybody signed up?
No. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to take an item out of order on the agenda. First, number 6, under the superintendent director's portion, salary adjustment. Need a roll call for taking it out of order?
No.
Okay.
You need to approve.
Do we?
No.
No?
Just
Okay.
if everybody's in it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. We could just take that out of order. Thank you.
Okay, so as part of my report, I'd like to request that you vote to give a salary increase to the assistant superintendent principal and to the business manager retroactive to July 1st. This is consistent with the raises that all of the union folks got, as well as the non-contractuals. It's really just an oversight that we're just getting to it now. Should have caught it earlier, should have probably done it in June.
Those in question should have caught it.
Yeah, it's really my responsibility to bring it to your attention. Both of those positions are under contract directly to you folks. So I would be asking that you consider, in talking to Jill, as you know, assistant superintendent principal, very similar to myself, neither one of us were looking for anything more than what teachers and the staff got. So we're consistent with that request.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Warren, second by
I'll second it.
Mr. Bahu.
I have a question.
Mr. Bahu?
Can we vote on these contracts individually, Mr. Chairman, rather than both at once?
Sure.
And there's not a copy of the business administrator's contract in here that I
Yeah.
noticed?
So the reason that the contract is in there for the assistant superintendent principal is because of the next item, because I'm going to be looking for a vote to extend her contract and give her a new contract, because it's going to expire at the end of this year. The business manager still has 2 more years left on hers. I'm just looking, consistent with the clause in hers, that annually she's reviewed for salary increase. So that's what number 6 is about. It's just the section in each of their contracts that we will review. I will review their performance and recommendation to you on a salary increase annually.
Okay, so we're gonna vote,
Yeah.
thank you for that. I guess we'll vote on the assistant superintendents first,
Yep.
which is clearly in here, and then maybe we'll have a little discussion on the business manager.
Okay. Point of clarification, so it's just for this fiscal year coming up?
It's for FY17,
Yeah.
which began July 1st, 2016. That's why I'm asking for it to be retroactive to this past July 1st.
So we'll go through this exercise again next year then, I assume?
If,
Print on the contract.
right, so when we get to the contract part, one of the things that I'd like you to consider is to give the increase, the 2% for next year, build it into that contract in the first year, consistent with
That's part of
what
this
we've done
vote.
we've already done it with the teachers, so we've already done it with.
But that will be part of this vote.
No, that'll be number 7. Right now, we're just looking at 2% for FY17 that just started this past July 1st.
I just have a quick question.
Sure.
On the compensation amount, it says 141,236 under the proposed, And the last one was 131. Is that because it was in 2014 that she had signed that? And then she's been receiving the raises right along?
Yeah, so she would have gotten a 2% raise last year, and then this would be the 2% raise for the third. She's in the third year, this is the third year of her current contract.
So the math all works in.
It all works out, yeah, 2%. Nobody's getting more than 2% in this building.
Did you say this was an oversight?
Well, no, I, in hindsight, I think I should have probably
Oh,
brought it to you guys in June, before the fiscal year started. So it was an oversight on the superintendent's part, and I'm bringing it to you
You find
now
it?
when I realized that I
It's
hadn't
on the
done it.
tab.
They're the only two people that haven't got a raise in this building
And
of
you go
2%.
down a little further.
I'm bringing it to you now.
These are the contracts.
Okay, any other questions? I would just like to say, I'm very happy with the path the school is going on, Ms. Davis. You and the superintendent seem to make a great team. He can't say enough about you, that the hard work you do, the hours that you keep, the help that you've done to get our kids up to that level. And I don't know if it's October or November, when we see how our kids are progressing every year, I know you've been a big part of that. So thank you, and keep up the great work.
Completely agree.
It's a team effort. It's actually about a team of people with my fellow administrators, with the teachers. It's a team effort.
Thank you very much. Okay. Ms. Turner, I've joked with you in the past, but you're the one that keeps all of us from getting in trouble. You keep the numbers right, you keep us informed, you keep great books, you have our confidence, and we're very, very happy to have you as part of this team. I can speak for myself, and a few of the other members may say something, but you were new to the school last year, and thank you very much for all your work. Anytime I've had to deal with your office, the explanations are great, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the motion is for the salary adjustment for the assistant superintendent principal.
Oh, I thought it was for both.
No, they asked to separate.
We're going to
Separate
separate
vote.
them into two votes.
Okay,
Separate vote.
do I have to do that again?
Just want to make sure you were clear.
Sorry. Okay, roll call?
Okay, what's the motion on the floor?
It's to approve the 2% salary adjustment for the assistant superintendent principal for FY '17.
Okay, thank you. Right.
By
And we got a
2%,
motion,
yeah.
and
By 2%.
Yep.
Motion in a second.
Right. Mr. Moran?
Yeah.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
I might add that even though it should be worth it, it's a good thing we're not paying them by the hour.
Oh, excellent point, Mr. Tatsias.
Now, there's the politician.
Well,
Same for you, Roger.
So we'd be
Okay.
looking for a motion to increase the business administrator's salary by 2% effective, retroactive to July 1st.
okay. By Mr. Moran, second by Mr. Bahu.
Okay, through you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Superintendent, I'm just not entirely sure why the copy of the contract's not enclosed. I'm curious if, I think our business manager's only been here for a year, and I know she came in at a cut and paint. She's been doing remarkable work, working very hard on behalf of the school, always answering our questions. So it was a seamless transition, and I don't think any of us thought that, we were going to have that seamless transition at all. And I think the one thing that, I was questioning was when we first signed her on to a contract, there was an issue with, vacation and such like that. I think she was coming in at like a 3-week vacation or a 4-week vacation. I'm curious if the next contract that we approve is going to have another week added on to that, because,
So I think if you're asking about a successor agreement, that's not going to happen for another 2 years, right? And that would be an appropriate time to negotiate that. If we're going to talk about terms and contracts, I think it'd probably be more, outside of the incremental raise, I think it'd probably be more appropriate to go into executive session to have those discussions. Because private personnel matter, her contract and the terms of her contract, in negotiations, if we're going to do that. Right now, all I'm asking for is a 2% increase consistent with all the other raises. Obviously, it would be appropriate to negotiate whatever terms, might want to be negotiated with the successor agreement, which doesn't run out for 2 more years.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you for that.
Thank you for your question.
Any questions, any comments?
I guess I just follow up, so will we, getting back to Fred's request, will we be receiving that after the fact? Will we get a copy of that?
You have her contract. It's in your
It's still in
Yeah.
effect right now, it's in the contract book.
The only thing we're changing is the salary.
That's it, yeah.
And we
The
don't-
only reason I didn't include it is, I included Jill's because
Yeah.
we're, the next item, it's only on there for the next item. If the next item wasn't there for Jill, I would have just been asking you for the 3% under that clause of their contract, that I make an annual recommendation to you for salary increase based on their performance. I would not have Jill's contract in here except for the next item, which we're talking about extending it. That's why I didn't put Billy Joe's contract
We
in
don't
there.
do a new contract for the salary adjustment, we just do a memo to the business office saying that the school committee voted to approve blah, 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 and then that goes in the file with the contract, but we don't do a new contract at this time for salary adjustments.
And her contract's also online, on our website as well. All of the contracts
I
are.
know we have it.
Yeah. But this is just that one clause, and this is just the salary adjustment, the annual salary adjustment recommendation under that clause. That's what I'm bringing to you today.
Okay.
Is this something new? Have we always operated this way as far as?
All the non-contractuals in the building, I brought you a recommendation to increase, actually, the recommendation I brought you, once we were settled with all the unions, was to increase them 2% each year, to be fair, because that's what we gave the unions. And you approved that for the non-contractuals. You also approved the same thing for every one of the 8 unions as well. It's the exact same thing. So all I'm doing is, because it's an individual contract, theirs is a little different. We didn't write in that they were going to get 2% each year. I have to bring that to you for a vote based on my recommendation and my evaluation of their performance. So that's why I'm here tonight doing that. Like I mentioned before, they're the only 2 people in the building that didn't get 2% raise on July 1st. So that's what I'm looking to. And I wished I would have brought it at the June meeting, so that they would have got it on July 1st and not had to wait. But I'm bringing it to you now.
Okay. Fred, anybody else? Ms. Turner, I just wanted to say, actually, I already said it, so. Anyways, roll call?
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda would be just for the assistant superintendent principal. I'm making the recommendation or the request of you that you consider
What's the current one? You gotta go to the
extended, her current contract expires the end of this year, June 30th. So she's in the last year, she's got, 10 and a half months left on her contract. Her performance is superb. I can't imagine anybody working at a higher level than she works in that position. Consider myself very fortunate to have the opportunity to work with her as a team. I've been in this business for 34 years. I've worked probably for a dozen principals in the 34 years. She is the best principal that I've ever worked with. So I would like to make the recommendation that she's not looking to negotiate any other terms. I asked her, and she's happy with her contract. But it would be, I would be very appreciative if it would be extended in another 3 years. And I'm sure she would be appreciative not to have to worry about whether or not it's going to get extended as she's working hard every day. To just put this kind of behind her and know that she's all set for another 3 years. She's not going to be looking for a job 4 or 5 months from now. So I think it's also the right way to reward and treat quality professionals, if you want, because you want to support them and you want them to feel valued. I think it's one of the small ways you can do it. Jill and I are are two of the few people here that aren't in a union. We work directly for you. We work hard for you, and this would be a nice way to give her some job security for 3 more years and to show that appreciation.
Okay, motion by Mr. Moran, or
Question
do we need
was,
the motion on the table?
terminology is the same. The contract is the same, except for the dating.
The dating, what we did do is,
Right. Anything that would change is in
we
here.
did put in the 2% increase.
Okay, yeah,
that would
yeah,
be
yeah.
effective.
And the salary,
Yeah,
okay.
just for the first year. The next 2 years, I would come to you for additional increments. But
Okay.
the teacher's contract is already all set with 2% for that next year. So I thought that it would be in line with that to just put it right in the contract. But that's the only things, the dates and the salary. Other than that, it's the exact same contract. There's no changes to it.
Mr. Lemay?
I might defer to my longer-term colleagues, but is this the normal course of action that we do on this position
It's, yeah.
over the years?
And it's the normal course of action in all of the jobs that I've held as superintendent. I want people who work for me under direct contracts to know whether or not they have a job a year in advance of their running out. And to be quite fair, if they're not going to have a job, I want them to know that too. I'd like them to know, hey, I'm sorry, but we're not renewing your contract, and be fair to them to give them a year to look for something. These jobs are hard to find, and there's not a lot of them. So I think it is the right way to treat people, and it is the normal course of action.
It is, and it's not a
Most of the
reflection on
places that I've worked.
either employee's job performance. I just...
Yeah, no, I'm trying to just answer your
Davis,
question.
you do an excellent job.
It is the way that I've always conducted myself with the people that are direct reports at high levels to me. That's how I want to be treated. That's how I want them to be treated. But it is the normal course of.
Okay.
Mr. Bahu, then Mr. O'Hare?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to move to approve the superintendent's recommendation
Okay,
of rehiring our assistant superintendent for 3 years to give him a new contract.
thank you, Mr. Bahu. Second by Mr. Tatsias, please. Mr. O'Hare, did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I totally agree with the superintendent and what he said about our assistant superintendent. And I think it was even before you were here, Mr. Superintendent, that Davis is in this building from more than any other person in this system. I really feel as though she deserves exactly what you're recommending. But I think she's doing an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Just 3 years?
We'll take over.
Just 3 years?
That's it.
Okay. Can we get a roll call, please?
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Thank you very, very much. I need to apologize, but I have a family medical emergency. I'm going to have to leave.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I would suggest going back to the superintendent's portion in the beginning.
No, we're gonna go back to where we should be on the agenda.
Okay.
So we're down here.
Okay. School committee communications? No school committee
No.
communications. Moving on to report of the student representative. Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from the June 16th meeting.
Move to approve.
Mr. Bahu, second by Tatsias.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes. Okay, report of the treasurer, approval of the warrants. Entertain a motion to waive the reading of the warrant by Mr. Moran, second by Mr. Tatsias.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes. Motion to approve expenditures in the sum of $11,316,677.74. Move for approval by Mr. Gigi, second by Mr. O'Hare.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes. No report of the general counsel. Next up, I'll have our Assistant Superintendent Director, Ms. Davis. Do you have your,
If you go to the memo.
the beginning of it?
Yeah, right there, we just
Yeah.
want. So we're gonna be at number one.
So out-of-state travel
Okay.
request.
Everybody? I'm requesting approval for up to 6 administrators to attend an out-of-state PLC workshop. Information regarding the conference has been enclosed in the packet for your review,
It's over
which
here.
you sent.
So it's under the yellow tab.
Move to approve by Mr. Bahu, second by Mr. Lemay.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mrs. Tatsias? Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay? Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to invite Mr. Chad Fallon to come up to provide an update on the progress of the development of a new school website as well as the new school app.
Hello, everybody. I'll show you two things tonight on two different devices, so bear with me as we switch back and forth. So I think before school got out, I had mentioned that we are at the final stages now of launching our new school app, which is available on a mobile device and smartphone. And then we're also launching a new website. So we've been working on them both simultaneously for a September 1st launch. We're just about there. We're about 95% done. All that's left now is fine-tuning a few pictures, tightening up the directory, and really putting it out to some people as a sample group just to find out what they might want more of or what we can change. So I'm going to start with the app. This is a free app that can be downloaded from, if you have a Droid device, from the Google Play Store. If you have an Apple phone, it can be downloaded from the App Store, completely free. So this is the app. What I have now is just a cable that's projecting it from my phone to be able to show you. So it has rotating pictures that are always going to be the first thing you see, and that comes directly from our Twitter feed. So anytime we tweet a photo or something from our Twitter account, that's going to be the photos that go through here. So they're always changing. As well as in our activity stream. This is going to capture anything on our calendar or anything on our Twitter feed that's coming in. So it's really a way for people to stay connected. The good news is you don't need to have a Twitter account to be able to follow us. So if people don't have Twitter and they don't, want to, they don't use it, they don't have to because they can view it right from the app.
Thanks.
This app has resources for everyone who would use it, students, parents, staff, and it's something, our goal is to improve communication in a variety of methods. We have an analytics on our current website where we can find out what kind of people are visiting our site, meaning what device are they using. Close to 30% of people who visit our website now are visiting from a smartphone or a mobile device. So we know that there's people who are using just a phone or just a mobile device to get the information they need. So we know that we need to have something more than the website. The idea of this is not to take the place of the website, but to have all the information that a parent or staff or student would need to know. The other important thing about this app is that this is connected to the same, we've gone with Blackboard is our provider for the new website for this app, and they've been our provider for the phone messaging system we use. So anytime you get a snow call or an emergency call or some kind of notification, it's also going to go through this app if people download it on their phone. So just another point of convenience. There's links directly to our X2 Aspen site, athletics, where you can track games and events, guidance, our website, and a full directory. The point of the directory is really for ease. So if you need to get in touch with any one of our administration, it's very simple. You're hitting the name. It's, oh, you know what? I might not do it because I don't have internet up right now because I put my phone on plane mode. It's really with the click of your finger, three pushes, and you're going to get directly dialed to the school. So what would happen is if you hit Jeffrey Albert, his number would pop up there with, it would be with a link, hyperlinked. You press it again, and it dials directly to the school. Also, the email would be there as well. So we're pretty happy with this. Like I said, it's just about ready to launch. We're going to do a lot of promoting in the fall. There's going to be signs around the school with a QR code. There's an app on phones now that you can download so that if you walk up to something like in the supermarket, if there was coupons, you can take a picture of it with your, get the QR code, and it goes directly to your phone. Same thing here. Anybody who wants to access the app will be able to just zap the QR code and it will be downloaded right to their device. Or they can go to the App Store or the Google Play Store. We're really going to promote this on the back to school night. We're going to have tables all around the school so that people can find out how to be part of this and how to get signed up, because our goal is to get as many people on this as well, because it's just another way for us to reach out. And another way for people to reach out to us. That's what we're trying to do, is improve the communication both ways. So before I move off of the app, any questions about this? Yes?
Am I imagining things, or the sun, is that the Lowell Sun?
Yeah.
Are you violating some rights by using their logo?
It's not that I'm
That's-
using the logo. It just was. It was part of a story. Like, it just happened to be that was something we tweeted. Or every time we have a story in the Lowell Sun,
Yeah.
usually Roger will tweet the story. So that just happens to be something's getting cut off there because it was a story from the Lowell
So
Sun.
Chad,
Okay, but you don't have the rights to use that as your logo. Or a
No,
logo that's going, all right.
that's not a logo.
can you show them the icon? Because I think that's what he's misperceiving as being the icon for the app.
Oh no, that's just one of the pictures that happened to rotate through.
So that's not actually the icon.
Okay, it looked,
The
well, it looked-
icon
that's
for
the
the-
only thing that's up there.
The icon for the app is a griffin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when you and actually I can see how that would be
Can't use
confusing. We
that.
can just take that picture right out. This was tied to a story that happened, and like let's see if I hit it. Yeah, it was a mobile news, business partners at dinner. That was how the Lowell Sun put it out electronically. For some reason, they chose to use their logo, and then there's a link to the story. So that's the only reason that happens. But that story will be
So-
old news in another week.
Well, that's a good point. Is the Lowell Sun sending you the story, or are you accessing the Lowell Sun story?
The Lowell Sun we have Google Alerts. No, they don't provide it to us. I have a Google Alert that anytime something goes out, anything about our school in
Yeah.
whatever newspaper it's on, I get an email. And Roger does too, and Jill does, and then we decide if we want to tweet it out. So
Okay.
that's 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. Roger he sees a story and he puts it out to Twitter. So this story was from June 26th. There haven't been many over the summer, so in another couple weeks, this won't even show up anymore because it's just going to go through the most recent stories. But that does look like a logo. I can see how that would be confusing. When you go to download the app, you're going to see R. Griffin for the logo. Other questions? Yes.
Are we going to be using Twitter to do any type of recruiting for students?
Well, we certainly can. I mean, I know that Roger is really the one who does the most tweeting right now for the official account. Mark White does it for athletics. A lot of the coaches have pages. I am not that. I'm starting to get more familiar with Twitter. I have it, and I have an account. So I would imagine the more people. I mean, recruiting. Well, the people would have to follow us. So, yeah, I think there's an element of that we can use.
Not actually. The way Twitter can work is it's a paid advertisement. And it may be something to talk about with the superintendent, assistant superintendent, but you can do paid advertising. So anybody that has Twitter, it's like anybody that has a Facebook account, you'll get paid ads, and the cost is very inexpensive compared to a mailer of how many people you could reach in this geotagged area that may be looking up charter schools, maybe looking up high school, maybe looking up high school statistics. So it'll capture those searches, and then you actually pay Twitter to send an ad to that person to say, Greater Lowell Tech, this is what we have to offer. So maybe that's for another day. I didn't know if this was part of your...
No, I hadn't gone that far yet.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Yes.
Just another question. Anytime I'm looking for information at Greater Lowell, Greater Lowell does not send me information. For example, snow days, et cetera, et cetera. But anytime I'm looking for information, I'll go to the Greater Lowell website, look up athletics, get scores, get anything I'm looking for. And just looking at some of the icons up there now, are they doing the same thing? There's,
Yes, in fact, they point, so that we don't have any information that isn't updated constantly, everything is tied to the website. So the athletics, the guidance, everything is linked, it's pointed to our website. So when we make a change on the website, it's gonna be changed here as well. So yep, this is just another avenue for you to get information.
okay, and what is the advantage of using this versus what, going right to the webpage and get information off that?
Because we're finding that a lot more people don't have desktop computers anymore at home, and they're accessing things from their phone. So we want to make it even easier, because right now, even though like our new website is going to be what they call, you know, responsive, that from whatever device you have, it's going to make it look as good as it can. But you really don't want to do a lot of this work on it. If you're going to a website from your phone, everything's a lot smaller. It's not as easy to navigate. This is really just for ease and convenience, because we want families and students to not miss out on information. And like you're saying, if you want to find athletics from your phone, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to go to this and hit, you know, a few buttons to get information, as opposed to typing in the web address for the email and navigating to a page.
But I will still have both options.
Yes.
Now, having said that, if I looked up tomorrow for a score, both of the avenues to get to that score would be,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
The other function of this is our calendar, which you can sync to your phone calendar. If you want, you know, right now this says our school calendar. So if you're a parent and you want this as a calendar on your calendars on your phone, it's an easy way to sync.
Nice.
So we're hoping that people will, you know, have more opportunities to attend sporting events and school committee meetings.
Click on the date.
He's a funny one.
Questions?
Thank you.
Okay, so this will be launched September 1st, along with the website, which we're going to switch gears now.
We're going to have a grand opening or a grand,
We're going to do something.
okay, good. Now, will I get a notification through this?
Well, you have to download the app first.
Ah,
So we'll have you download the app for all of us at that next.
I already downloaded
It's
it.
very,
trying to
it's
download
very
it right
easy
now.
to do.
I already downloaded it to my iPad.
We can have a student help you, Mr. O'Hare.
Yeah.
I got 5 students in my house that have.
I was gonna say.
Oh, how fitting. Okay, this goes right to our current website. Okay, so this is our website at current. We've had this for about 3 years, and we've just outgrown it completely. Yeah, we can't wait to press the button and turn the page on this. So just a few things, you know, you've seen this before, but really just a lot of content, a lot of wasted space on the left and right. So we knew right away what we were looking for. We were looking for full real estate, no wasted space, and what we got was this. By the way, the web address will be the same when we tell it to point that way. So here is our new website. A few features are that, again, now these are photos that we've taken. The home page is going to rotate through about 3 to 5 pictures that I'm going to update every few weeks. People aren't typically going to sit here and just watch for too long. They're going to go somewhere. So we put about 5 pictures up there now that'll rotate through, because people are coming here for a reason. We did it looking at some analytics on our current site. When we can tell when a user logs into or when somebody goes to our website where they're going, a lot of times they're on there and they're going right to the directory. Actually, a lot of people were looking for the superintendent. So a lot of people that went on were looking to find out that email address. So we kind of know where people are going. We know they're going to the directory. We know they're going to athletics. We know they're going to admissions. So we knew what we had to make sure was really in good shape. We were looking for a professional look. We want something that really represents that we're a technical high school in the 21st century. I think we've achieved that. So I want to show a few, yes?
Just as, trying to be a pain, well, you know, the logo looks good,
The same
but
thing.
the date of the logo is covered by another
Oh, is it?
screen. Yeah. No, the other way, yeah. I think one more.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Okay.
we'll have to bump that up a little. Okay, our admissions page. Now, this is more yellow on the actual computer, but for some reason on the projector it comes up pretty washed out, but it does not look like this on the real site. A few things I just want to point out with this. We've spent a lot of time revamping our admissions and enrollment pages so that people have a quick and easy way to find out good information about the school. So we have our video, which is going to be new, as you know, for this recruitment season. We have our application in all the languages. This is something that we've redone so that people who come, can find out information about our school. And we've put on a frequently asked questions page that I've compiled of as many things I can think a parent or a student would be interested in, trying to answer as many as we can in one location. And then this, we added, this is new. We have some great pictures of the school from the recent renovations, so I wanted to put it up as like a virtual tour so that people could go through and see, and we'll add to this, and there will be students in some pictures as well, but right now these were just too good to leave in a zip file.
Absolutely.
We really needed to get them out there because it really highlights what we've done.
That amazes me. Yeah, I worked there many years.
Okay, we did spend a lot of time updating the content on the current website over the past year, so a lot of what we did, I just told Mr. Ajulis the other day, I said, wait till you see our new website. We were looking for a picture that really encompassed athletics and teams, and I'm like, we found the perfect picture, so I hope I have your permission to use it. I just love that picture. So this will be updated with all the current, tryouts and dates and everything that's necessary for this. So the content was good. We didn't have to redo a lot of the content because we spent a lot of time doing that. So this time we just reorganized. We do have some new features. So under our technical programs, the home page is going to rotate through some of the photos that pertain to those areas. And then as you saw in a previous meeting, we are putting a video of each program on their site. And this is what the automotive, I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to show you. So ultimately, we'll have 4 more done by the end of this year, and maybe even more. We'll see how the year goes. But ultimately, every program is going to have a promotional video, if you will.
Nice.
The other major change, we were not highlighting our services well enough. On our current page, they were way down the bottom, and people really couldn't see it. So when you go to our services page now, it really lets people know what we have to offer the community. And the one thing we have to add, and I'm working with Maureen Griffin on writing up a really good description, is the marketing stores. So that will be added. But right now, this gives a good description of what services we offer to the public, instead of it just being kind of lost on the bottom of the page. It also has, go to the page from here as well. This is our technical program service catalog, so people want to know pricing. We have a link right to that. Okay, this is pretty much under construction right now. We're listing the clubs. We're going to have a description for each. And we have a separate link for Skills USA because that's one of our biggest clubs. Christine Messina has spent a lot of time. Her adult ed and practical nursing website is completely new and revamped, and in fact split up so that it's, they're both equally important. Before they were being lost a little bit. So we have a page dedicated just to adult education and then practical nursing. So that's also something that you're going to find is new. Again, before things were just, you just scroll down for days. It was PDFs. It wasn't good. Calendar, same, yes.
Who's the webmaster for the?
Currently, me.
You're looking.
And my team. Definitely not just me, my team. Andrew Bullock has spent a lot of time working on this.
I'm impressed.
I am too, yeah. I'm really happy with where it is. You never know with these things because it takes so long to get it to the point that you're ready to show people. So, but it's good, and I'm happy. The company we're working with, Blackboard, Blackboard is fantastic. They're the leader.
I never heard of it.
So the calendar, again, is our school calendar. It can be viewed any different way you want. And the last thing I want to show
You can you add in the dates?
No.
Okay.
Public can't, no. It's locked. Our search bar, this is something that people who like to search, so if I want to find out questions on admissions, it's going to bring me all the, well, it brings us right to our application, how appropriate. But if I have questions on something in specific, the search function of this is really good. The search function on our old website, you would never get what you needed. If I'm looking for the principal, let's see where it brings us. I haven't tried this yet. Okay, it brings us right to the superintendent's page, which is right here. So that was a direct link right to there, so that's good. We still have a link just for parents. Staff is now going to be a login. It used to be public, and now we want to be able to put things out there for staff to access, but it's just for them to see. So that's going to be something that is not going to be available to the public, because we might put things up there that we want people to be able to retrieve from home. So that's going to be a login. Something for the students. And this is where I have all of the stories that I send to the Sun. They're going to
So are the members of the school committee treated as such as members of the public?
Yes.
As far as?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The staff would only be things that were like we do.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, we do an annual training, and we'd have that for staff.
Question.
Yep.
As a former teacher, when I was in-house here at the time, if I wanted to look up Mr. Booton, you know, I could go on my site and I could look up Mr. Booton. It would give me his photo, blah, blah, blah. Would we have access to that?
That is internal only. It's not that you don't have access, it's just that we don't, that's only an internal.
I think sometimes, you know, we see people in the building, they maybe don't know who the hell we are.
Well, I'm glad you asked. That, I forgot to tell you, our directory now has pictures. We don't know how the teachers are going to feel about this, so. So I use the administration as my guinea pigs. This is the directory if you want to find anyone in the school. And if you're looking for someone in the, you know, carpentry department, you can sort by department, but the default is always by name. So this will get you people for email and call. If you want pictures, we have, so if you go to administration, I had to tell all my colleagues, guess what? You're going to be
There's your mark.
so.
So you have that for committee members as well?
Oh, this is public, yes. Oh, and for school committee, yep.
Yeah.
School
Show them their
committee
pictures.
is still
Way down. There you go.
Don't put-
still up here. But what you're talking about, Mr. Moore, that's something that internal we have. But now, ultimately, if you saw a staff member in the hallway and maybe you wanted to check and see if it was who you thought you would, yeah, you're going to be able to go because we break it down under, like if you go to a technical program and you go to CAD, we're going to give the teacher in that department with a picture. So what we're going to do for people, Michael Stack is new, so we don't have a picture of him yet. During the first week of school, when O'Connor Studios come, we're going to offer people the opportunity to have an updated picture taken and let them know, hey, you're going to be live now, so if you want to spiff it up, O'Connor Studios will be here. So yes, there will be a way to view pictures.
Okay. But sometimes it's like you're trying to put a name with a face.
Yeah. Yep, I hear you. So it was on the news. This is the way that we, every week when the Lowell Sun publishes a story I send, it's going to put the most recent one on top, and then we're going to have an archive of all the other stories down below, all in PDF format, so easy to view. And the last thing to show you is on the bottom. The calendar right here is always going to show you the next 3 upcoming events. I showed you the calendar, but this is just another way to view it. And then down here is where we could put announcements. Right now I have something up for the incoming class of 2020, even though they won't see it because it'll be outdated by the time they start. But I was just playing around with how we're going to, this is where we'll put, you know, important announcements, things that we want people to see. Question? Yes?
No, well, some other time.
Okay. The last thing I'll show you is the translate feature. This is actually in partnered with Google, and if I want, oh, excuse me here, when I want English to Spanish, some of them don't work as good, so I was happy when I had my wife check it because she speaks Spanish and she was happy. So this is going to give you everything in Spanish, which is very helpful.
Yeah, that's great.
And some of them, like I said, they really don't do the right translation, but you can always trust Google. So the fact that it works through Google, I trust it. So we do have that feature.
Interesting.
So
Very good.
that's kind of an overview, a quick overview. Please, if you think of anything, either tonight or over the next few weeks, again, we're planning on going live September 1st. Any suggestions you have, please send them my way, because I really want this to be as perfect as possible before we launch. Any questions? Yes,
I just have a comment. That was firstly amazing.
you like it?
Between the app you have on your telephone to this website, you can tell it's really well thought out and hard work and detail
Yeah.
is really, paid attention to. Also that it's impressive. It's easy to navigate. I would hop on the Great Lowell Tech website for the past few years, and it almost was confusing to a person that sits on the school board.
Yeah.
So I just look at this and I am thrilled that you guys were able to do this, you, your team, as well as through the help of the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, and everybody involved. So
Yeah.
bravo, great work, congratulations.
Thank you.
So it's as simple, if we need to get a hold of a department head or, say, Mark Byrne, for example, we just click on his name, it'll go to his
the best way,
extension?
the best way for you, I mean, if you know that it's somebody that's in the administration team, then you can just go right to administration. But if it's someone that the fail-proof way to do it is just to go right to the staff directory,
Yeah,
and then you can search that way.
and it's all alphabetical.
Yep, and if you want to send an email, there's a direct link to it. So, yep, that would be the best way.
Or you could do the easy way like me and just email the superintendent and say, got a question?
You mean-
You bother the superintendent too much.
Yeah, not often enough.
Yes, Mr. O'Hare.
I thought it was fabulous. There was another picture of the girls' basketball team.
Yep.
3 of those girls are going to college.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, Jesus, I don't know, but wouldn't it be nice if the general public somehow got to know that when you gets up on the screen? I don't know how to, that's far-fetched, but
Well,
I thought that was a great presentation, don't get me wrong.
No. The last piece to this, which we haven't done really ever here, is having a strong alumni focus. And the first step, Chris Fody has been able to get she's in the process of having all of our yearbooks digitized, so they're all going to be electronic. That's going to be the first thing we're putting on our alumni site, because that's the best way to really spark some, activity. But I agree. Yeah, anytime we can highlight students and what they're doing. We're hoping to do this year. I'm hoping to do one spotlight a month on alumni. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much,
All right,
Mr.
thank you,
Fallon.
everybody.
Appreciate that.
Good job.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Chad.
Please convey to your team how happy we are.
They'll be thrilled.
Thank you.
I'm not very computer savvy, but I think that's great.
Yeah.
And do you have plans like to keep improving?
Yes. To make, a successful website is one that's dynamic and always changing. It can't be stale. So yeah, we're
I think you're on the right track.
good. Thank you.
And,
So that replaces our current website?
It will, on the night of August 31st. Actually, well, I say September 1st, but really, we're going to do it for when the teachers get here on the 29th. So on Sunday night, we're going to pull the switch, and gltech.org will now point to the new site.
4 years,
The
every year
balloons
you
and
get a new
everything.
student.
Yeah, maybe.
Great thought.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Okay.
I can't get it.
Hey, wait a minute.
Next on the agenda is myself presenting the student handbook to you. Included in your packets that were sent home were the changes made. Does anybody have any questions on the changes that were made to the handbook? I just want to call your attention to one of the major changes was on the cover. If you noticed on the cover, there are 5 words. Those are our new core values, and as a school, we're adopting those core values this year. And they form the acronym of REACH: respect, effort, accountability, commitment,
Nice.
and honesty. So our new logo will be Strive to Reach. And those core values were developed with input from the students as well as the staff. And definitions of the core value were included in your packet, so I think those were the most evident changes. The other changes are just minor schedule changes, calendar changes. Another major change, which is documented in here, is the description of our reproductive health clinic that will begin in the fall.
The Lowell Community Health.
With the Lowell Community Health Center, yes, and our partnership with them. There is a paragraph that was included in the handbook about that. And the other is on Narcan and the administration of Narcan in the
Yes,
building.
Yeah.
Any other questions about the student handbook? Yes.
Page 76, student lunches going to $2.15.
Yes, and, yes.
It's gonna get voted on when Ms. Turner comes up.
Okay, because it's just handwritten in there.
Yes.
Okay.
It's on, because we didn't know when this went out, that it was coming up on, this had already been printed for me to include in the packet when we found out that the motion was coming tonight to include,
Okay.
increase the school lunch price. So we just hand wrote, Roger told us just to hand write it in here.
So it's going to be incorporated in the new
Yes.
handbook? Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
I just had, I think, a couple of questions.
Sure.
One of them was that the change from having the students, they could stay in the mall before, or the cafeteria, now they, for lunch, they want them just in the cafeteria. Later in here, I noticed that they are allowed to go to the library during
Correct,
lunch.
yes,
That's,
they are.
okay. And then the other question was about the library, where it's only open till 3 o'clock. Has there ever been a need for the students to have that open later? Has there ever been any inquiry?
There has not,
No? Okay.
only because it interferes with sports.
Okay.
So usually, kids will come directly after school,
Mhm.
go to the library, do their homework, and then get involved with sports and activities. So then there has not been a request to have it open later.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman, a question for
Yes,
this.
sir.
Ms. Davis, unrelated to any of the changes you made here, is how often how are the kids educated to this handbook?
They're educated at their class meetings, so they will be educated on the changes. It's up online, and
You know,
they
how
use
many-
it all
how
the
many-
time.
How many kids actually read this book?
Believe it or not, many do read, many of them do read the handbook. We do presentations at each class meeting in regards to, specifically, we will this year speak about the core values, because that's something new in the handbook. And we always go over the code of conduct for the students in the
Yeah,
handbook
I
as
mean,
well.
I don't know, and I, this may go back to when I was here too, but I think that we need to come back to the handbook, either monthly or quarterly, question them, review it. Maybe the parent never
So
looks at this,
the-
something to that effect.
My fellow administrators in the main office, Mr. Costa, Mr. Fallon, Mrs. Zambino, often go over the student handbook with students at their class meetings. So it's something that's often discussed, specifically the code of conduct, yes. It's available online for students. I think that's why we have it online, so they can access it at any time. Often students use their phones to access the handbook when they need to look up something. Yes.
So and is there any way that we know that the parent knows that the kid got a
Yes,
handbook?
in the back of the handbook, there's a sign-off sheet that we collect, and students have to submit that for us, and we take a tally on that so that we know that all our students and their parents
So
have
that
read the
if
handbook.
some situation comes up, the parent can't say, I never saw it. I mean,
Yes, it's on the last page of the handbook, it's the
Yeah.
handbook verification form, which they can tear out. It's also available online that they can print out, and at the beginning of the school year, they're given a hard copy in their homeroom to take home with them to have their parents sign. And it specifically says in the verification form that they have read, the parent has read, the student has read the handbook, and they're aware of certain aspects of the handbook.
Mr. Gigi, then Mr. Tatius?
Briefly, like when we have to take CLE credits and so forth, we can access the book online, and then it tracks us if we're reading the book. It also will tell you that if you are gone for 15 seconds or 15 minutes and you haven't replied, it cues you or it just shuts down the program. So you might be able to incorporate that into the website at some point, where you can be sure that the parents are and the children are reading the handbook, and it would be simple, it'd be online.
Thank
Might
you.
be
That's a
something
great
that-
Suggestion. I'll bring that to Mr. Fallon's attention.
I think Chad would be the one that would be
Yes.
interested in that.
Mr. Tatius?
I was gonna, I think it's been answered, but the students come in contact with this handbook from day one, their freshman year.
Yes, the handbook is no longer given to them hard copy, it's only digital. So they can access it through their phones, through their laptops, through their iPads,
I think it's
at
a
any,
great tool, and
given
I
time.
like the
Also, we don't
change.
print out 600 of these.
no,
and
we
roll
do
them
not
out.
print them out anymore, everything is digital.
What if a student doesn't have that capability?
They can request a hard copy, we do provide hard copies upon request. And we do provide copies,
Placed in their file?
yes.
Just
Okay.
one last thing, one,
Oh, that
Change.
was just a change,
so you're gonna change
a change in wording.
Yeah, you're gonna change the A.
A.
No,
Okay.
A students, A
Okay.
students plural, students plural,
A
get rid of the A.
Okay,
Where is it?
right there.
Oh.
I think we realized that
Yeah, okay,
after,
good.
after this was printed, thank you.
Okay. Mistakes from schools on grammar is important, Mr. O'Hare, so
Yes,
we don't want to be caught like that, so nice catch.
thank you.
Motion to approve the 2016-2017 student handbook, please, by Mr. Tatius, second by Mr. Bahu.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Tatius and Mr. Bahu.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay? Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is myself once again presenting the bullying prevention and intervention plan. Again, you received a sheet with the revisions, and the only revision is the changing of wording of the attendance and discipline office, which is now called the main office. So there's a word change, and the gender equity counselor has been removed. All guidance counselors now will become experts on gender equity.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Bahu, second by Mr. Moran. Any comments, questions? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is myself again presenting the athletic handbook for approval. And the only change to the athletic handbook is the cover and the dates.
So moved.
By Mr. Moran, second by Mr. Lemay.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias?
Yes.
Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes. Okay, I think we're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Davis. And thank you for stepping in.
Yes, this
Dr.
was
Daly.
interesting.
Gotta stay here.
I'm staying here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, you do. Okay, next up, we'll have the report of the business manager. I'd like to invite Ms. Turner to come up.
So first, I want to thank you for those kind words. I have to say that positive feedback is a great motivator, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I'm going to go home and press rewind and watch it over and over and over again. Next, I have two items that we need to talk about, which are both transportation related.
you
One
say
is,
transportation?
I'm sorry, food service related.
My favorite subject.
Mine too. As someone already mentioned, we need to vote to increase the lunch prices by 5 cents. Each year, we have to review our paid lunch revenue to ensure compliance with the paid lunch equity requirement. All that is that we have to take the reimbursable rate, which is $2.70, minus the free rate, which is, so we have a $2.70 cost to match. We're at $2.10. We don't have to jump up 60 cents because that might be too much for our children. So we have to do a 5-cent minimum each year. We're required to do that. So we need to vote on that.
Okay, motion to approve moving the school lunches an additional 5 cents from $2.10 to $2.15. Motion by Mr. Moran, second by Mr. Lemay. Any questions, any comments? Mr. Lemay?
I was just gonna say that, my recollection last year is we went up 10 cents. I didn't know we were obligated to go up, we needed to go up at least 5 cents every year.
So last year was the first phase of it, and they had us do 10 cents. I actually have George Garabedian's notes. It was a requirement to do 10 cents last year, but every subsequent year it's 5 cents.
Okay.
And we could go more, like all the surrounding communities, they're paying $2.75 and $3, but we already have an excess of revenue, and we're having a hard time figuring out how to spend that money. So it wouldn't be to our favor to do that.
Thank you.
Very good.
And the second.
We have,
No.
excuse me, we have to vote on that. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, if we can have a roll call, please.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias? Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes. Okay, next up.
So the second food service item is to vote on the annual Aramac contract renewal. You procured a new contract in 2015 with 4 annual renewal options. This would be our second renewal. The DESE requires that we submit the contract for their approval each year. We've already submitted that a month and a half ago. We're waiting for them to approve it. But we still need to vote on it, and the voting language that's included there does say subject to the DESE approval. And I also included a summary of Aramac's projected return for this year, which shows an expected return of $130,000, which would be prior to the offsets that we use for the local budget cost.
Okay, motion for approval of the Aramac renewal contract by Mr. Tatsias, second by Mr. Bahu.
I'll actually read this motion just so that we can have everything
Thank you.
satisfied. It's a motion to renew the district food management contract with Aramark Educational Services LLC for the 2016-2017 fiscal year, subject to the approval of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education.
Thank you.
Ready?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias? Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes.
That's all?
Thank you very much, and
Thank
again,
you.
thank you
Thank
for
you,
your good
Mr.
work.
Turner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, under old business, I do have a note from the superintendent that if he had to leave early this evening, he'd ask that the 3 recent motions by Mr. O'Hare be discussed at the next meeting. Superintendent had to leave for an emergency, so if everybody wouldn't mind, we'll just move on to the report of the subcommittees. Okay. Look for approval of the June 16th, 2016 Building Committee meeting report for the monthly approvals and the change orders.
So moved.
By Mr. Moran, second by Mr. Tatsias. Roll call?
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias? Mr. Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
Yes.
Mr. Booton?
Yes. Okay, there were no approvals, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at this point by Mr. Gigi, second by Mr. O'Hare.
Mr. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Tatsias? Mr.
Yes.
Gigi?
Yes.
Mr. O'Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Espinola? Mr. Bahu?
Yes.
Mr. Lemay?
You can stay here.
Yes. Ms. Davis, thank you very
I can't
much.
get that app to download.